are having one member who, let's say, is doing item 3, private label, and then maybe, and that person is also the finance manager, then okay, it makes sense to do 3 and 4. After 3, that same person can present number 4. Okay, so it can be done this way. But actually, so that leaves only like 5, 6, and 7, right? So maybe for the one for number 7, it could be the same person doing number 8, for example. Okay, so actually anybody can do any of the others. The only thing is number 4, 5, 6, and 7, it must be done by the person having the role. Finance manager must present the finance strategy, management, etc. The marketing and sales manager must present all about that, and so on. Okay, so you can actually minimize going in and out. That's not a problem. But as long as there is a flow, and the flow needs to be like this. Okay, so if you have somebody in operations doing first, then you can put the operations number 4, and then the person doing the operations is also presenting number 2 and 3. Okay, so that person can do 2, 3, and 4, which is the operations. Okay, then you see. So I can let you sequence the 4, 5, 6, and 7, but the others you can't. There's a flow to it. Okay. Part 2 is about the future. Now I put strategic vision here, not in the part 1, so don't get confused. It is not the vision that you are been having so far. It is a vision for the near term and the medium term from now on. You can make a comment and say, okay, we are continuing with the same vision, and that vision is this, and we will continue this vision in the near term and medium term starting from year 21. Okay, you understand? Are you all clear? Better tell me if there's, or stop me if you're not so sure. If I'm speaking too fast, stop me. Okay, is it okay?
I'm sorry, Mr. Saram. Can you
Hmm.
repeat? Can you repeat your strategy, please?
My strategy, not my strategy.
I'm sorry. I meant our strategy going forward.
Yeah,
Um,
okay.
if we continue on the trajectory that we are going, should we just write that we are continuing on the same strategy, or should we switch to something else?
Yeah, okay. So you can. Oh, sorry. I think I've just hold on a minute. So if you look at the, are you guys still there? I got a blank screen. Hello?
Yeah.
Are you guys
We can
okay?
hear you.
Yeah, I can hear you, but my screen went blank for some reason. I don't know why. Let me just make sure I'm okay. Just hang on a minute. Okay, I got all of you. Okay, so your question, right? So if you look at the guide, yes, you all have the guide with you, right? So number 10, sorry, number 11, right? It's up to 2 slides outlining the competitive strategy you would take to outcompete those true rivals, those close rivals in the near term, medium term. So since the strategy may differ between branded and private label footwear, then you may need 2 slides. Okay. Now, whether you want to follow the same strategy that you had in the last 3 years or 6 years or whatever, right? Then just say so. If you think that you should change because of what you found in number 9, number 10, so you're changing your targets or you're making your targets more more challenging, and you have your closest competitors are catching up, or maybe they are going further away from your performance, then maybe you want to change your competitive strategy, then say so and why. Okay, so you have up to 2 slides for that. Okay, one for branded and one for private label. You understand? Did I answer your question?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, all right. So remember, in the future, it's up to you. You have to tell us, as the shareholders, you need to give us confidence that you know what you're doing. Okay? So your group of 6 companies, four four are not doing that well. Two, okay, it's kind of like medium level, but still can do better. So all of you, I think you need to show more convincing, I would say, a story, okay, a more convincing story, okay, that you have to much more than tomorrow's group of 6. We have more confidence in them, but we have less confidence in you. So you need to give us that confidence, okay? All right?
Yes, clear. Thank you.
Okay, so 8, 9 is, so 8, you can continue the same vision, but if you want to change it, you can do it now. Or maybe you had a vision until year 17, and then in the second strategic plan, you changed. Okay, fine. And you want to continue with that one now. All right. So normally vision doesn't change. Yeah, it should be kept long term, 10 years minimum. Okay. The competitive strategy, the generic competitive strategy, we don't change, every year. 3 years is also quite often. So 3 to 5 years is when you start to review your generic competitive strategy. Okay, so this you will also learn in the SBM course. Yeah, you don't change it often. Okay, and then your targets is for the near and medium term, and why? Why do you want these targets? You must give the rationale. Don't just put a number there and say, I want to achieve this target. Why? Okay, maybe you have some trend forecasts, projections to make, so you can show those projections. Because of these projections, okay, we will have these targets. Okay, maybe it's something to do with number 10, which is the closest competitors. Maybe you found that your closest competitors are beginning to eat into your I would say, where you're targeting. So maybe they are getting more share from where you're targeting. Okay, so your targets are moderate. Okay, explain that you see this closest competitors coming. And then you can say, okay, we'll explain further in the next slide. Okay, so that I know the shareholders then know that you will explain further in the next slide why those targets are set, if it's related to the competitors. Okay, understand?
Hi, Mr. Sir. I'm sorry. I just want to
Yeah.
check. When we say near term and medium term future,
Mm.
is it like a 3 year or 5 year plan? I quite don't get the definition for medium
Okay.
term.
Near term for the strategic business management is the same. Near term is 1 year, medium term is 3 years.
Thank you.
Okay. Anything else? Okay, so number 11, the minimum I want to see is the generic competitive strategy. If you also want to include the growth strategy, fine, but it must be in the same slide. Okay, make it clear right? Not small text. As I mentioned to you, keep your slides to less than 40 words, okay? Try to use more of the visuals, okay, visualization, but don't clutter with 20 charts in there or 10 charts. It's just too small to see. Okay, whatever you chart you put up, please make sure it's clear that we can see any number that you have there. For example, the year, then put the year. Okay, if you think that there's too much text even in the axis, then try to minimize it. You can always put alternate years, and you don't have to put y all the time. Y11, Y12, Y13. Just take out the y. Put 11, 12, 13. Easy. Okay, you understand? Yeah. Are you clear? Yeah? Because we need to see clearly, you see, not like so small until we can't see. What's the purpose? Is to communicate, right? So don't worry that you cannot put every year inside there. Sometimes you squeeze your axis so that the 11 and the 12 and the 13 kind of like merges together. Then take out the 11. So 10, you start with 10, right? The first year. I mean the year that you handed over. Then the next one is 12, then 14. But make sure you have a like a small tick there for the 11. So we know that that is 11. And then 13, you just don't put the number, just skip it, but put the tick there along the axis. So we know that that is the 13, right? But the label can be 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. See? So again, always ask yourself what is the shareholder looking for? You want to see a trend. You want to see ups and downs and why. Okay. All right. Now, the slide 12 is not something academic or anything like that. Yes, it is, of course, what you learn from the game. But the other thing is, what did you learn from about the strategies that you had? If you made miscalculations, maybe you incorrectly projected, okay, then you better explain the cause, the reason for that, okay? So that the shareholders know that you are learning, okay, that you will not go through that same issue again in the future. See? Understand? Right? Maybe you ignored certain signals. So certain signals like say the influencer, the celebrities trends. Okay. Then say why in a very short time. Don't go too long, just quickly say that. And what will you do to overcome this in the future? See? Maybe you guys didn't work very well as a team. Okay, then say so. Okay, don't use the thing like, oh, so this guy was working here and so on. You know, they are all managers of the company, remember, right? You shouldn't be doing part-time job somewhere else or a full-time job and this become part-time, right? So you must use in a nice way, right? Yeah. There were many other priorities as well, a lot of priorities, right? And you ended up firefighting. Okay, fine. So therefore, each member didn't contribute fully. Okay. You understand? All right. Don't go and say that, oh, this one got family, this one got baby, or whatever. All right. Or maybe you can say, like, okay, somebody had some illness. Okay, fine. So we couldn't use this person for a while. It was putting a lot of pressure. Okay, fine. Like that. Okay. Then how are you going to cover this in the future? Surely these things happen, right? Even in any company, of course it happens. Somebody had illnesses, unforeseen things happening personally, right? There are other priorities. Somebody left the organization or whatever, so you have to cover. Okay, so what are you going to do? You can't tell the shareholders, oh, I'm so busy. No, how are you going to ensure that if something like this happens again, what are you going to do? Okay, how are you going to improve your team working, for example? This is the key thing. How to improve that? Okay, right? How did you communicate? Okay. These are all important lessons you will learn. Okay. And maybe you say that, okay, you didn't see the big picture initially. Only after a few years you realize the big picture. Okay. Big picture, right? You see the whole picture. Okay, yeah. So in crafting a winning competitive strategy, you should be able to see the whole picture, and then you must zoom into the specific functions like marketing, say productivity in HR, and then you need to consult each other. People, each of you cannot be doing your own thing and say, no, I want to spend money on this celebrity. Then you spend 70 million. Then you get stuck with no cash to expand when you need it. Then you start borrowing. Then your credit rating goes down. Okay. Then some of you keep on buying shares. Then you're buying shares at a high price. So why? You should be doing the opposite, buying at low and selling high, so that you need to sell because you need to sell shares to invest, right? So you want to sell shares to your investors to invest. Okay? All right. Any questions about this before I go to some Q&A type? Okay. Right. And then after that, I want to see some drafts. Yeah. One of you sent a draft, so I think we'll start with that. But just let me go through some of the important parts of your BSG, where I will be looking for how you guys perform. Yeah. So I will look at all your reports. So if you go into your BSG, yeah, please open it, your own one, your own team. And the first one you should see is the FIR. Okay. I'm not too worried about scoreboards and so on, but I will be asking you relating to let's say the industry overview, like your material controls, for example, some price trends, why prices going down, for example, yeah. What maybe competitive, what you felt some companies influence was on your decision making, so some competitors, okay, how did it affect you guys, right? So I'll be looking at the FIR. Surely I'll be looking at some of your productivity, right? How you improve productivity. Reject rate was a big issue. So of course I've hinted to you several times, right? Almost every 2 or 3 years I keep mentioning it. Okay. Then on the CIR, okay, the competitive effort, yeah. So yes, there's the SQ ratings versus the money spent on advertising and so on for internet, okay, the marketing spend, okay, and then contrast with the private label, so the branded against private label. Okay, why maybe the SQ rating is so low or so high? What did make you change? Why did you change? Why is it that some segments you using the same strategy? Why didn't you consider other strategies, for example, right? So I'm going through this process of questioning whether you know how those decisions were made. Okay. Why did you make those decisions? Why did you end up with, say, 800 retail outlets? Why 800? Why not 900? Why not 1,000? Well, how this magic number came. Okay. So you see in your wholesale segment, right? You got retail outlets. So why this magic number 3857? Team B, company B. Why this number? You like these numbers very much? So there must have been a reason why you got this number, right? Okay. Okay.
Sorry,
Why do
Michael.
you?
Sorry, just sorry for interrupting. I'm just want to have a quick check. When you questioning us on the internet marketing or like HR or operation, does the manager that's in charge of that part have to answer, or any of us?
No. Other person, yes. So I need to know who's doing what role. Okay. So if you can put it on your slide, the first cover slide on the slide. So introduce your finance manager, operations manager, marketing sales manager, and so on. So I already know in advance, and I know then the questions I'm going to ask, and I know who is going to be presenting. So again, in your slide, you can mention at the corner, right? You can put your initial or name, that I know which person is presenting which slide. Okay?
Thank you.
Yeah? Okay, clear? Yeah. Right. So the question on marketing, for example, I'll be directing it someone who's not been in marketing. Okay? Right? I might ask a HR question to the marketing and sales manager. Yeah? Or I might ask a CEO level question, like a bigger picture question, like, okay, how do you get this competitive strategy? What thinking process did you have? What factors did you consider, right, to come up with this strategy? Then I'll be asking for the non-CEO. So if you have a CEO, please also mention that in the slide, in the cover slide. So somebody may be taking two roles. Maybe it's the CFO and the CEO. F is the finance, right? So maybe our finance manager and the CEO. Then please put the other roles as well, not just the finance role. Okay. So then I'll ask a big picture question to someone who is not in that big picture. Okay. All right. Understand? Am I clear?
Yes.
Okay. Right. The other areas I would also look at, besides the CIR and FIR, in the regional one, okay, there's more to do with the price trend and your internet price, wholesale price, SQ rating. Okay, I may ask question, but I won't repeat the same question to any two students. So sorry, any two managers. I won't repeat it. Okay, there'll be 44 different questions. Okay, then I will look at strengths and weaknesses. Okay, please know your strengths and weaknesses. All right. Okay, your strengths and weaknesses have changed over the years. Okay, I might pick any year. I might see that I noticed that there was a strength from, let's say, for example, year 11 to 15, and then suddenly it became a weakness. So I may ask what happened. See? Okay. All right. Or if it's a weakness for 10 years, then I'll be asking, what have you been doing for 10 years? Sleeping? Okay, I won't ask like that. I will ask politely. Okay. All right, you got it? So pay attention to the company's strengths and weakness. You have it, under the competitive intelligence block, you have company strengths and weaknesses. Look at that. Some of the operating reports, I will look at that as well. Maybe something to do with your income statement, some of the financial statements, your gross margins, cost of goods sold. Like maybe why is your cost of goods sold in Europe, Africa so much higher than consistently higher and above everybody else, or maybe on the high side, right? Benchmark against the other competitors and compared to other market segments. Maybe I'll ask something like this. Okay. All right. So let me look at some previous questions I asked before. Let me just check. Yeah, I might ask about the trends and how you projected. Okay. What did you do to respond to those trends? Okay. Maybe something like this, right? Maybe some observation about the sales performance. Okay. Yes, you already talked about the sales performance, but in your charts, of course, you're only putting some charts. You're not putting many charts. I'm going to ask something that is not on those charts. Okay. Maybe some factors. What are the reasons for that? I will ask, what is the reason for suddenly sales drop or suddenly sales increase? What did you do? Okay. What factors? Or is it your efforts, or is it some environment factors, maybe some macro factors, or maybe it's a competitor factors? Okay, understand what I mean? Okay, can you understand the kind of questions we're going to ask you?
Yeah, okay, sir.
Yeah, okay. Or maybe the channel, that maybe not enough channels, or maybe I'll ask you what contribution you made to question your marketing and sales manager relating to the channels. Did you agree? Why? See? You see what I mean? Yeah, I can ask like that. So if you're like the finance person and then the marketing channels are very few, uh, then as the finance manager, what have you done to, or is it you're happy with it? Did you discuss? What did you discuss? Okay. Why did you agree or disagree? Okay. Yeah, so something like this, right? I can ask, And then I might even ask about the productivity. Didn't any of so the productivity is relating to your operations, okay? Partly to do with your trainings and so on as well to improve the productivity. But part of it is due to the machines and your changeovers, the number of models. So could that have improved your productivity? Yeah. Didn't you alert the operations manager or give any idea on how to improve productivity to your operations manager? Okay. For example. Okay. Got it?
Yes, thank you.
Mm.
Can I ask what kind of questions would you be asking the CEO in specific?
The CEO. Okay, the CEO will have another role, right? So I will be asking a role that is I'll be asking a question that is not related to that role in the first place. Okay, so maybe I'll talk about. So if the CEO is in also the finance manager, for example, right? Then I might ask something about, say, advertising spend. Okay, you understand what I'm saying? Yeah, because you're the CFO, right? So did you question your marketing and sales manager about the advertising?
Oh, so that kind of question is not asked of the marketing manager.
No, I'm going to ask the CEO or maybe the HR or finance or any one of those, right? If the CEO is not the marketing and sales manager as well, then I'll be asking maybe something like that. Okay? Got it?
Yes.
If the CEO is not the HR, right, and is in marketing, then maybe I'll ask a HR related question.
Oh, so it just depends on your specific roles, not the CEO role.
Yeah, but I won't ask a big picture question. I'll be asking something more micro, functional.
Oh, I was expecting something relating to return on equity or.
No, now I'll be asking the HR manager, who's not the CEO. You get
Return on
my
equity.
point?
Oh,
Huh?
really?
Yeah, because you all at the senior level or top management team. In a typical company, everybody in the top management team will be at these meetings. I mean, at the regular weekly TMT meetings, and each of you will be presenting and discussing like the strategy ahead for the company. You cannot say you don't know. It is normal. You have to know. Okay? You understand? So your HR manager presented something about let's say recruitment is difficult and can't train very well. But I was asking the marketing manager about that, not the HR manager. I want to know whether the marketing manager is aware of the difficulties in HR and not just simply start spending so much on marketing and putting pressure on the operations and the HR. See, can the
Yeah.
marketing manager appreciate the issues of the HR? So I'll be asking the marketing manager about the HR. See, you get my point, yeah?
So you meant that we will be asked certain questions from other roles as well?
That's what I've been telling you for the last 10 minutes.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I've been telling you that for the last 10 minutes. I said I'll ask the HR person something on marketing. They all have to know because the HR person needs to know what the marketing is doing. If you want you to be able to recommend training or improve productivity, maybe the productivity is low and the marketing guys are spending a lot. What does that mean? That means that you need to ramp up your output. To ramp up output and your reject rate is low, your productivity is low, how are you going to support your marketing team? You see? You get my point?
Yes, I understand.
Yeah, so this is normal in any company. You cannot say that, oh, I'm HR, so I don't care about what's happening in marketing. That is what a lot of Vietnamese companies are doing. No, nobody cares. Then that's why everything is, in pieces, is it? Nothing is integrated. You understand? Our course is integrated business experience. Integrate. So you need to know what the other functions are doing. Got it?
Yes.
Your body
So
cannot function without the kidney, right? It cannot function without the stomach, right? And the stomach cannot function without the kidney cannot function. Everything depends on one another. Same thing in a company. It's like an ecosystem, you see? You got it? Yeah?
yes.
The
Well,
heart cannot say I don't care about the stomach. And the stomach cannot say I don't care about the kidney. Right? Get my point?
okay, thank you.
Okay? Are you all clear? Everybody clear, huh?
Sorry, can I ask like a very general question?
Okay. Nothing
Because
is general.
obviously we are at the bottom of the ranking. So I just don't know,
You
as
guys.
you mentioned, you obviously will be stricter to us than to the top 6 group. So I don't know what you're
Wait,
looking
wait,
for
wait,
in us
wait,
that
wait,
you
wait,
can.
wait, 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 wait. Did I say stricter or did I say you are expected to tell me a better story?
Yeah,
Your
so
story needs.
sorry. So what would be like, what are you looking for in us? Like, obviously some decision we made were not on the right track, but like maybe if we can spin the story, like reasoning, justify why we're doing that, which would be more convenient to you. Like, I don't know how to make, like, what's your criteria for a convenient story?
Okay, let me like read what I told somebody in by email about shareholders. Maybe that will make sense to you. So let me just read it. So, see, shareholders want to know, address our concerns. Okay, so our concern is like, why is the performance so low, so bad? Okay, you're bad on like everything. There's nothing bright. There's hardly a bright spot anywhere. Okay, so yeah, we are concerned about this. We're concerned that you didn't manage our money well. See, we gave you a whole company. It is in a good condition, and then what we got after 10 years is it's almost a junk company, Share price so low, below what we gave it to you, and it's our money. So put yourself in the shoe of the shareholder. If it's your money and you have this company and you had a bunch of managers who did this kind of performance, what would you be thinking? Okay.
So I guess it's like we should especially like put attentions on the future story that would be much more impactful. Like and we recognize our, if we made mistake in the past, we have to recognize it. And then I guess what's attractive is for the future potential. I guess.
Is that enough? Is that enough? You see, if you are not at this time, we don't feel confident in you. Okay, not just your company, but the other two or three in your the bottom four, right? We're not we're not confident at all because you're way down, right? Was there anything positive from here? Was there any strengths? You see, right? What were the weaknesses? Why were there these weaknesses? Okay, you cannot say I made mistake. Okay, you made a mistake once, twice, but 10 times, 10 years, that is too much, right? So you must show something that there are signs of a recovery. Okay, then show us there's those signs of recovery. You had a miscalculation. You misprojected. Okay. So when did you try to recover that? You must tell us that you've done something in these last 10 years that has made some turn, some improvement. Okay? And you will continue with that kind of improvement, and you know what your weakness is, and you know exactly how to overcome those weaknesses. You see? You know, but did you do anything at all in the last 10 years in any of those weaknesses? So show us something that you actually have discovered those weaknesses maybe after the fourth or fifth year, and you've done something, and it gave you positive results. That is the type of story we would like to hear. That even no matter, despite the over 10 years is still terrible, but there were some turns made. There was a turnaround somewhere. Okay? You identified certain weaknesses, you identified certain trends, maybe a bit too late already, but at least you did identify and you did something. Not just say, I know. And you know, then what did you do about it? Nothing? You must have done something. What is that something? Okay? Don't tell such a long story because you all don't have much time, right? So you need to make it clear in your slide. You show an impact that, okay, we identified, circle on some point in your chart or some chart. This is where we found our weakness. By the time we started the processes to recover, it took about 2 years. Okay. In the meantime, there were some changes in the business environment. So it created a setback, but we are still on the track. You can see from the chart, you see on track, but it's just slowed down. Okay.
Okay, thank you. I think I got your point.
So then you can say, if this didn't happen, we would have projected our sales would have gone this way. You see? Yeah. So now we know that we will do a preparation because we didn't prepare for that. Now we will prepare. Okay, but we did turn around. We did discover our weakness and we did something about it. Okay?
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, this is very important. You must demonstrate that you took some action. You cannot keep on saying, I make mistake. Then I say, oh, I made a mistake hiring you. Okay? Okay, you got it. You understand what I'm saying, yeah? Learn how to. I know you're nervous and you're facing shareholders. It's their money. You lost all their money. Yes, I know. But you also need, but without being too ego inflated, don't inflate your ego. Be humble. All right, be humble, but don't be too humble that you are like really bad. You can't see anything. You don't know. You're learning on the job, right? We don't want to know that, right? Okay. So confident enough, but not ego inflated. That we don't like. All right. Don't say you know everything. How can if you know everything, how come you're in this situation? Okay. Okay. Yeah. So demonstrate action that you took it, right? Okay. Then what do you do to counter any more of these setbacks and competitors? Okay. Competitors only one, you see, what are the what is the factors that impact on performance? Okay. So I only put competitors, just only one, because that's like the one of the major factors. But there are other factors too, the macro environment, the demand trends. These are all also factors, right? But because there's not much time, and also we are confining only to 1 or 2 slides, right? So keep it just to at least the competitors part. So at least you are considering the competitive factors. Okay. Okay. Any more
Yes.
questions? Okay.
Mm.
No more questions? Okay. No more questions, then I think we should take a look at some of your drafts. Let's start with company B, because they sent me, or you guys sent me already. I had a look already. I will make some comments, but just show it so I can make the comments quickly. You can share your screen.
Okay, please wait a minute.
Okay, so the first point here, I hope the rest of you are looking at this and listening to me. Yeah, you can record. Yeah. So on this first slide, please put down your role. If you have more than one role, then put all your roles, any of you. Okay, no need for your start transcription. Okay, so no need for, sorry, go back to the first slide.
Okay, sorry. Yes.
So no need to worry about
recording in progress.
Yeah, okay. So no need to worry about the student number and so on. Okay, just put your name and your role. Okay, that is the easiest. Okay,
Yes.
it will be better to put the role first, right, and the name. Okay, CEO, who, right? And then CEO and CFO, or CEO and finance director. Okay, your name. Okay.
Yes.
Somebody want to record to the cloud. Okay, I will. I think it's recording on your device, right? Anyway, I'll just let it. Yeah, just let it. Okay, next slide. Don't put table of contents. This is not an academic thing. This is a meeting, a shareholder. So you must put agenda, right? It's a meeting. All meetings have agenda, not table of contents. Understand?
Yes.
Okay, you go to meeting, you get table of content, is it? No, you have agenda, right? What's a meeting agenda? Huh? Okay, so put agenda. Again, minimize the number of words, keep it simple. We don't need to put corporate social responsibility. We all know CSR, right? Okay. Yeah. So don't need to write long words and so on. Just keep it short. Okay. Right. Next. Okay. You created a slide on this, but remember you only have a maximum of 15 slides, minimum 13. Okay. So please make use of the slides according to the what is required. Okay. Yes, I understand the creativity and so on, but this is already taking up one slide. Okay. Now, if you're talking about the overall strategy, right?
Yes.
Yeah, then I think there's a slide for that, right? Is this what it is? Is it the strategy?
Like this is what we did in 10 years.
Well, this is the item 2, right? The first thing is not about the journey. We don't care about this. The first thing all shareholders want to know is what's the performance.
You mean the next slide, right?
No.
No.
What did I tell you just now? Inverted pyramid,
Uh-huh.
right? This is a shareholders meeting. What's the shareholders' primary concern about? Performance.
Mm.
You have read in the SBM, I've given you the access already more than 2 weeks now. You can see all those financial announcement, the earnings announcements, right? At the very top, the headline is performance, EPS, right? They don't talk about their strategy first. Strategy comes after, see? So, okay, this is the performance. How did we get this performance? That is the story, not like this. Okay? Understand? Performance first. That is why item 1 is in my guide, I put item 1 is the performance, the very first thing.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
Right. Then all this can be like the how, right? But it's taking up a whole slide. See, what we want to know is what is your competitive strategy? That means the big picture strategy. That is your positioning, your directional strategies, right? Right, for the branded and in the branded, and then 1 is for the private label. So 1 for the branded, 1 for the private label. Okay? Understand?
Yeah, yes.
I think all of you had private label at somewhere. So I don't think anybody had no private label. But if it was just only like a 1 or 2 years and it was only in 1 or 2 regions, I didn't say, okay, we hardly went into the private label, just tried a couple of years and then we stopped. You had to put a slide. Then you have 2 slides for the branded, 1 for the wholesale and 1 for the internet sales, right? Just replace the private label with the branded. So you have 2 slides for branded. Better. So that means your focus is on this. So we want to know more about it. But if you had all 3, then you need to put one slide for the branded. Which means we share 2, the wholesale and the internet there, and then the private label another one. See? Okay. All right.
Okay.
Yeah. Next.
Okay.
Okay. I asked you to have the performance for. Can you go to the next slide also? Just can I take a quick look? You have. This is marketing already. Okay. So there's only 1 slide on the performance, right?
Yes.
And I said in the guide that you should have all let's say performance KPI, if you like, okay, for the net margin, gross profit margin, EPS, ROE, stock price, credit rating, and so on. But revenue, gross profit margin, net profit margin, these are very important. I don't see it clearly.
Well, we have a slide showing net margin, gross margin, and net revenues.
Okay. When you do these
Here.
kinds of slides with so many charts, okay, then
Yes.
you got to look at what's the priority. For the 3, yeah, you can put the others smaller, but then the priority ones need to be bigger. What was the biggest weight, right? The biggest weight was in the ROE. The second one was EPS, right? Is it EPS? Yeah, EPS, right? 20% EPS, right? And then the second one also was stock price, right? Correct?
Yeah.
Is it stock price or is it image? I forgot already. Anyway, the top 2, the top ones need to be clear, okay? Because that is the highest weight, right? ROE. very big, 30% weight. Yeah. So that should be important at this point. Yeah. And of course, the revenue, gross margin, and net profit margin can be in one chart as you put here. But is this the right way to show? What is the best way to show revenue,